How's it going, everyone? It's Vivi, and guess what? We got some Spyro 2 Colossus gameplay by IGN, so let's go and start analyzing this, alright? We got an extended intro cutscene. Seeing what they did here, what if Spyro 3 had intros and outros? Well, actually, looking at Spyro 1, no intros, no outros, I think the same might apply for Spyro 3. The original intro from 2 was 20 seconds long. As for the new one, it's 30 seconds. The new one starts with the Yeti, and the Yeti, by the way, looks awesome. More terrifying than the original. At this point, we're all used to it. What Toys for Bob has been doing, they're aiming for, you know, that creepy factor. There's a painting of high caves on the wall. Now, that's concept art. To be technical, it looks like it, but is it put in there as a painting? Like, it's concept, but in the game, it's like a portrait or painting. Anyways, who put it there? Are they trying to put references? Well, I mean, it's a reference, it's obvious, but are they trying to add some sort of background hidden story to all this? I'm probably overthinking, but you never know. But anywho, ultimately, the paintings you see, they're simply references. That's how I see it, mainly. The inside has been remade, I love it. The Yeti stance has been changed, he looks bulkier now, actually, and wider. The monks look like a recoloration of the four-man from Idols. The original ones, I mean, they look like pigs, just looking at their nose. Maybe I thought they would look like pigs. Well, I don't know, what do you think? Hey, I mean, at least they have different colored jackets, coats. One is bald, by the way, and the other ones have tied hair like the original. They wanted to, sure, they reskinned them, meaning they added different colors, but at least they do have some slight differences. The intro in the new one is pretty much a recreated cinematic. New animation, complete new angles, it's like a short movie kind of thing, which looks awesome. Like, talking about different angles, this area was hidden in the original. Now we see grass and not plain old gray-blue ground. And we see snow better, we can tell it's snow this time. The goat looks like it lost weight, has a darker color, and their horns are longer but skinnier. The monks' chants. Okay, people have been talking about this. Sure, they do sound different. We went from why-yow, that's what it sounded like to me. What am I doing? To whoa, 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 whoa. Kind of like Crash saying whoa, but softer. I don't mind the change. This reminds me of when people were talking about, well, concerned about the egg thieves sounding different when saying na 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 na. They sound fine to me. Oh, and by the way, when they chant now, they have magical sound waves. The walls in some areas are more like rocks, instead of just plain. The colors are more of beige, lighter color, as opposed to pink-purple from the old one. There's a lot of wood everywhere. They added flag type of things, those ropes hanging from the structures. I mean, we're all used to the extra detail. Of course they're gonna add some. Just the animation itself is so smooth. His unibrow just floats in mid-air. Gotta love cartoon logic. I mean, it's great to see their unibrows back. The Yeti, by the way, is now browless. Was the old one supposed to have a unibrow? It does look like it. The skybox now has a more constant shade of color. The original one, it was more of a mix, white, pink, and stuff. The skybox looks great, I like it. The feel is still there. The start of the level, okay, the colors give out a warmer feel to the level. The sun on the ground, that logo, is much smaller and focuses more on the center. Has like a nice lit up background. The structure where the door is has a face, just like the original, but you know, more detailed. The dialogue no longer fits in the box, and what I mean by this is we can only see 3 sentences in the dialogue box. In the original, 4 sentences fit in that box, but now it has to scroll down. Now the voice of the monks, overall from what I've been hearing, they're deeper. Do I mind him? No, it's fine.
A Yeti has been rampaging around our home, but we've managed to trap him by shutting all the doors. If you talk to the other brothers, they will open the gates and guide you to him.
A Yeti has been rampaging around our home, but we've managed to trap him by shutting all the doors. If you talk to the other brothers, they will open the gates and guide you to him.
Now the name appears on the left. Someone pointed out, but dude, it depends on the angle. I guess this is something I never paid close attention to. Triangle to talk is not there, just like the one we saw in Idle Springs. We only got a triangle icon. The gem sounds in this one, okay, to me they sound different.
Yeah, and we're just, you know, 3 dudes here, and
The goats look much taller in comparison. Looking at this scene, they're also fighting in this one. When you fire at them, they fall flat on their sides, and they also bounce back when hitting a wall. I think this applies to all enemies in Spyro Reignited Trilogy. The one we saw with the shepherds, the gameplay from Pez. Sparks when he's blue, I did mention this in the past. His tail points downwards. The barrels look very similar, just one strap of purple instead of 2. The positioning of everything, the vases, the barrels, the gems, they're all the same. And that's the power of the Spyroscope. Something they had to build, because they had no access to the original data. They had to make their own geometry, meshes and all that. Penguin is there, don't forget that little guy of course. The addition of flags with hockey sticks. And afterwards you're gonna see gold statues with hockey sticks. I mean, it's a passion for the monks, so that's a nice detail. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see like the minigame segment in this gameplay, but it is what it is. Again, here, they're just so much more added. The windows, the icicles, the gold statues by the way, with the hockey sticks. Pretty sweet. Oh, and by the way, if you pay close attention, you can see what seems to look like the blimp of the balloonist. Alright, what does this mean? 2 things. 1, either this is an Easter egg, a reference to Spyro 1, and 3, yes, there was a small segment with the balloon in the 3rd game, but the balloonist was mainly a focus in Spyro 1. Or 2, this could perhaps be part of the whole thing where you can travel easily within games, you know, swap between the games easily, but I do not think this blimp will take you to the Dragon Shores, because the whole purpose of Spyro 2 is that Spyro cannot go back to the Dragon Realms. It beats the purpose. When Sparks is green, his tail points even more downwards this time. I don't know if this is something you've noticed from the Toasty gameplay in the past. When flaming, they spin and land like the original, looking at the yaks. The vases are much shinier. Zoe here, by the way, looks like she has a lighter colored dress, but I think it has to do with the lighting. Her voice is very similar to the original, again, from what we've seen from Idle Springs.
Enemies like those yaks are too big to be charged. Your flame attack should easily take care of large enemies.
Exactly what we did. but Josh, to the point though, is that you know, this is very much, as we were talking about before, a craft for your studio. I mean,
enemies like those yaks are too big to be charged. Your flame attack should easily take care of large enemies.
And looking at this scene, the goats in the back seem to freeze for a slight second. I don't know if this is a bug or if it's something they're about to fix. Who knows? I like how those special keywords are kept green. And by the way, when she zaps at you, it's similar to the Save Fairy from Toasty from the first game. And there's that Spyro running logo on the bottom right. When Sparks eats the butterfly from Father, the penguin, the gulping is absent at first, but afterwards, you hear it. I'll point it out later. Zoe's voice, by the way, here is consistent. In the original, it seems like some parts of the level had her voice higher pitched, like they played with pitch. Also, the goats are much louder in the background when speaking to Zoe.
Enemies like those yaks are too big to be charged. Your flame attack should easily take care of large enemies.
Each time you defeat an enemy, it will release a spirit particle. The spirit particles will activate the power-up in that world. If a power-up is inactive, you need to defeat more enemies.
Enemies like those yaks are too big to be charged. Your flame attack should easily take care of large enemies. Each time you defeat an enemy, it will release a spirit particle. The spirit particles will activate the power-up in that world. If a power-up is inactive, you need to defeat more enemies.
The power-up gate, or the spirit particle gates, whatever you want to call them, it looks like they're unique for each world. Comparing this one to the one from Idle Springs, I guess that could be a pretty wise theory. The room you enter has portraits of the monks. Are they paintings or pictures? Anyways, the important thing now is this another reference to Spyro 1? To be more precise, Nevin is a painter in Spyro 1. He did paint Autumn Plains from Spyro 2. So it seems like Toys for Bob is adding references in each game, which is pretty cool. At the same time, maybe they're trying to add like some background lore, I don't know, but I'm not gonna get too much into that right now. The torches on the wall again, that's pretty much their main source of lighting in Spyro Reignited, I've noticed. Especially for like the orange areas. The voices of the monks sound calmer also, I forgot to mention. Some people are concerned about that, but I don't mind it. I mean, they're monks, it suits them, so it's okay. Also notice that their chants have the same tone, just like the original. Although their voices are different, but their chants are the same tone. They use the same sample for each.
By concentrating, I should be able to open this door for you. Hey, look what I can do.
By concentrating, I should be able to open this door for you.
Breaking the vases. The noise is higher pitched, let's go with that. There's another picture of high caves right there. When the platforms rise, you see a face like the original. This time the nose is less pointy and it has a different color. Oh, and by the way, this room, comparing it to the original, they went from complete blue to more orange and warmer color. See that old design on the wall from the original? They replaced it by a portrait of one of the monks. Here, Sparks' gulp noise is present, but softer. Yes, his face does get bigger, or, you know, that stuffy face, when eating a butterfly. That wing flap when flying is there like idle springs. I think this is the improvement people mentioned in the past. I love how Hunter is brought up. By the way, here's a glimpse of Hunter and Dr. Shemp. This is part of the pre-order in Australia for GameStop. So the dialogues overall, they're all the same when it comes to the words. When descending, Spyro slows down by positioning himself vertically. Don't confuse this with hovering. We haven't seen hovering yet, you know, when you press triangle to give you a small boost. Colossus even has carpets with their hockey logos. Alright, here. The word torch was also in the original dialogue. Same goes for the new one, but in the old one, he says kill instead of torch.
Even though I'm a vegetarian, I think you should kill that Yeti. He's pretty tough, though. In fact, I'm not so sure you're up to it.
Even though I'm a vegetarian, I think you should torch that Yeti. He's pretty tough, though. In fact, I'm not sure you're up to it.
It seems like they switched the word kill to torch in the actual dialogue when he speaks. Does this mean they are censoring the word kill? If so, will they censor Ripto saying kill? The Yeti no longer jumps 3 times when, well, before the pillar squashes him. Now he stomps once, growls very loud, and falls on his head. The glass shatters just like the original. The dialogue now has ruff ruff actually written down, and the way it's said is much different. We went from ruff ruff to rough rough.
I thought the Yeti was tougher than that. I guess he was all bark. Anyway, I was just guarding our sacred talisman to make sure the Yeti didn't eat it.
I thought the Yeti was tougher than that. I guess he was all bark. Ruff, ruff. Anyway, I was just guarding our sacred talisman to make sure the Yeti didn't eat it.
Oh, by the way, about the Yeti, there is a slight error in the intro. The platform is absent, but it's supposed to be there in the beginning. When the talisman appears are, one of my favorite parts in this gameplay. The sound has been changed, and the glowy effect has been toned down. Well, the orb from Idle Springs, I theorized they used the animation for the talismans. They probably changed it, and if that animation for the orb was for the talisman, they toned it down. Here's my favorite part, by the way. Spyro looks way too adorable, and I see what you guys did there. There's ruff ruff in the dialogue, right? A reference to a dog. Spyro here looks like a puppy, about to get a bone. It is absolutely adorable. Not only is he a cat, but a dog as well. I guess since he's a small purple dragon, they decided to give him like cat and dog traits. That's what it looks like. The Return Home portal has great animation, by the way, when appearing. By the way, Return Home was never in Spyro 2. It was never written at the portal. So they're going like Spyro 1 here. They added the words Return Home. There seems to be an added load screen looking at the icon in the bottom right corner. Perhaps this has to do for the extended outro scene, which we'll see eventually, or once we get the game. Oh, and if I'm not mistaken, if you pause it right here, we get a glimpse of Summer Forest. Neat detail, right? The flying is different. He doesn't have his arms wide open. Some people have been saying, well, you know, this suits him more, you know, he's a dragon, that's how he's supposed to fly. And by the way, the music of the level is pretty great. The dynamic parts even sound great. Oh, and one thing I noticed, the last thing for the video, the music doesn't seem to mute when in dialogue. In the original, it did.
By concentrating, I should be able to open this door for you.
By concentrating, I should be able to open this door for you.
And that sample humming we had in the old music, it seems like they're using the same one for the new one. So, yep, this is it. I guess I've covered all of the major noticeable differences. And as always, if I missed anything, mention it in the comment section below. And as always, I've been VV, and thank you so much for watching.